Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first Monday Metaphysical Live. I am so delighted to be here with you. It was 1 year since we had our big psychathon. Who remembers that if you were with us back then? We started at 4 p.m. on Labor Day. Oops, hang on. You don't need that. Go away. Okay, thank you. Ah, such fun. So, yeah, we started at 4 o'clock on Labor Day last year, and we went for a solid 24 hours. We had all of these amazing tarot readers who came on, and we had musical guests. It was just a really incredible experience. Oh, I see there's a few people here. I'm not alone. Hallelujah. So, speak up in the comments and let me know. Do you remember Psychathon? Were you here for it? It was so crazy because I'd never done anything like that before, and I didn't know that the recording would stop on YouTube after, like, I think it's 11 hours. So we got the first 11 hours of that live incredible gathering, which was a fundraiser for the Harris campaign. And after that, it was all gone, sadly. So we learned a lot during that experience. And then the Angels requested two more events. So we had two 11-hour events after that, because after the 24-hour one, that was enough for me for a long time. I wasn't ready to do that again. It was rough, but we made it through with the help of the Angels. It was exciting. And, I'm glad we did it, but it was exhausting. So, yeah, I'm just Penny, Holly, I don't know if you were around last year to remember that, but the really cool thing is there were people who showed up in chat who stayed with us for almost the entire 24 hours. Some of them took a few hours off here and there and then came back, but it was just incredible that the same people were there with us supporting the cause all of that time. So here we are a year later in a very different place, not where we imagined we would be, but still the angels tell us that we are moving forward, and we've just got to go forward in faith and trust that everything is going to work out for us. Hey, Debbie Brady, you've got two. Yeah, I get you. You're a busy lady on those live streams, but thanks for showing up. Penny, you remember. Awesome. It was. And you can still see the part that was recorded. It's on the channel. Just search for Psychathon. It will come up. It has been a year. Can you believe? Remember how crazy we were a year ago as we were counting down to 4 p.m. and not sure how it was going to go or what we were going to do if glitches happened, but we made it through and it was just spectacular. And now it's just a really wonderful memory. And, I made some wonderful friends through that with a lot of the readers that I hadn't even met or spoken to before, but they showed up for us and they did their bit. And it was really marvelous. Hey, Aurora Blue, welcome. Debbie in the flow, glad to see you. We were just reminiscing about last year on Labor Day, what we were doing. Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, and after that, after we did those, then we had a prayer-a-thon because Metatron felt that we needed to bring more prayer to the situation. So that was an 11-hour event. Yeah, we had some crazy ones. And then we did Love Stream in the spring, which was an 11-hour event. So far, they haven't told me about any more 11-hour events, but I will keep you posted if they do. But has everybody had a chance to see the September forecast? That was like, wow, knock your socks off craziness. When I got finished with the whole thing, I had this deep feeling that, boy, there is just more to this than I'm getting, because we brought in all of these elements. We had, going to level 12 in the heavenlies, meeting Jesus, having Kamala show up with a message. And what was the other thing they talked about? I have a note here. Let's see. Yeah, rebirth. And Metatron talking about all the things that, we can expect, because all this time we have been talking about Gaia and her rebirthing, but we haven't really addressed it as our rebirthing, and I hadn't thought of it in those terms. But that's what Metatron really made clear for the September forecast, is that this ascension that we've been going through is really a rebirthing. And we, right along with Gaia, are going through that. So when you put all those things together, we've got solstice coming up, or equinox rather, in September. I think it's the third week. Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish New Year, if you don't know, and that's clean slate, spiritual rebirth, and all of those things are woven together. So when you think about it, it's like a sacred spiral. So we've got the personal rebirth, and there was the reference to water and the birth canal and singing to your mother as you're being rebirthed. If you haven't seen the September forecast, you must, because it's amazing. And so then Jesus came in and took us to level 12 and talked about how it was time for a spiritual rebirth of Gethsemane. And we were coming to cleanse, renew, and make it a sacred space again. It was all about collective empowerment and where we're moving forward to, the excitement of moving into the new earth. And then Kamala showed up and she had a message explaining to us that, hey, kids, I can't save you. We're all in this together, but we've all got to save ourselves. So it's stepping up into your divine power, not surrendering to the dark forces, because they are doing their level best to fool people with lies and illusions. And sadly, they're using AI to fool people as well, because they're creating these fake videos and fake photos, and you really have to be very careful. What I do is I will douse, if I have any doubts about it. So if you use dowsing, that's another way you can use it. Let's see, what do we got going on in comments? Penny, I will come back to your question. Richard, welcome. So glad to have you here. Foxy Mama, hey, glad you could make it. Awesome. Looks like all the comments are showing up. Okay. So we'll come back to that and we'll talk about it more. And if you have questions, please put it in there, because I would like to spend a little time asking for clarification of anything that's not making sense to you, because this is a pivotal month. There's this huge shift that is happening. And Metatron's been talking about volcanoes and earthquakes and all of these climate disasters that we need to prepare for. And just today, I saw massive amounts of earthquakes. I think they had a dozen or so in Nevada, and there was another place overseas that got, I think, like 800 people died in that earthquake. So we have, on the one hand, talk about the massive exodus of souls. So we're starting to see that going on. We've got our rebirthing and standing up against the dark forces in our faith and trust. And just so much going on right now. It's a little much just to keep your feet underneath of you some days, but that's why we come together in these lives, so that we can support one another. We can ask questions of divine about whatever's on your mind that you don't understand, that you need clarity for. So what else? I think now probably would be a good time for us. We've got 20 people here. Thank you all for being here, to do a little opening prayer. And then we can dive into your questions and probe a little more about the forecast if you'd like to do that. So take a couple of deep breaths. We call upon all of the divine kingdom to be with us here in this sacred circle tonight, as the light workers of the world join hands metaphorically, energetically, to lift up the planet, to bring that glorious divine love light, so that we might create more peace, joy, and harmony on the earth, so that we might move towards the new earth sooner. We thank you all for being here, each of you individually who are here, bringing your love, your energy, and your beautiful intentions to our circle, because it all matters. It matters way more than you can even imagine. The smallest things matter, because it's all about intention. So, angels, we ask you to please be with those who are suffering right now for whatever reason, whether it be war or hunger for many, the climate events. Be with them. Let them feel your love, your strength, and help them find the path out of the darkness, back into the light, to embrace their own empowerment so they might change their situation, stepping into the fullness of their soul purpose as they move forward on their soul journey. And for all of you, my hope, my prayer for you is that you will find that thing that feeds your soul if you haven't already, and lean into it fully, going with all of your energy and all of your intention so that you can fulfill the goals that you have in your pre-birth plan, so that this consequential lifetime will really matter for you in the grand scheme of your many lifetimes, because we've all had many. So thank you for being here. We will move forward. Nothing else is coming through at this moment, so I'm sure it will come through later. Thank you, thank you, thank you to all that is. Thank you to all of you. Okay. So Linda, welcome. Denise, Regina, great to see you. Awesome. So glad you could all be here. So, Penny, it's not a metaphysical question, which we are trying to lean towards metaphysical questions, but there aren't very many here right now, so we'll go ahead and answer your question. But if you think of something metaphysical, please put it in there. So for Penny G, how is it that she became a type 1 diabetic recently? Can you give her a clue, help her to understand so that she might know what she can do to turn things around? Penny G, diabetes. What can you tell us? I don't know if you've had some kind of an emotional trauma, Penny, but that's what they're leading me towards. Some kind of an emotional trauma. Oh, and it feels like it's linked to a past life. And that was so deep that it shifted your body at the mitochondrial level that's shoved you into this situation. So that being the case, does it mean that she can reverse it? Is that possible? She can reverse it? It is possible. So your team is saying this is your opportunity to step forward, joining hands with them, allowing them to guide you on your healing journey. And do not give up until you get healing, because, sometimes we go to the traditional medical system and they don't have answers for us. So they just kind of give up and say, that's all I can do for you. Sorry, you got to live with it, which is never acceptable, because Creator says our bodies were designed to be self-healing. It's just a matter of finding the path to that healing, the formula, the recipe that we need. What is it that's missing, whether it be on the physical plane or the spiritual plane, or even something from a past life? The answers are there for us, and if we will lean into our divine team, they will help us to find them. You know, I've channeled Edgar Casey a few times, and one time I asked him for help with the weight issue because I had tried everything under the sun, and since menopause, it's just like not budging. And he recommended, was it I think it was sassafras tea. So I've been having that periodically. Haven't seen any big breakthroughs, but the thing is, I don't know, maybe on a deep cellular level, it's doing something and it's building towards greater healing. So I'm just taking that all in faith and trust and moving forward with it. And kind of tastes a little bit like root beer, so it's not all bad. So that wasn't a bad thing to have. So, Penny, let me know. Does that help? Does it give you any clues? And if you have a follow up question. Hey, Starseed Wisdom, great to see you. So, oh, thank you for the tap the thumbs up button, Debbie. I appreciate that. So, Denise, is it good to put dowsing rods under your pillow to emerge with your aura and energy field? Oh, to merge with, I think you mean. Yeah, let's ask that. For Denise, could you help her to understand? Is it useful to put the dowsing rods under the pillow so that the energies can merge and they can become a more powerful tool for her? Not necessary, Denise. It's all about energy and intention. And you are the boss of those rods or the pendulum or whatever you're using, even if it's your body. You are the boss in that case because you are asking from a higher realm to feed you the information. It comes through your body. And like in the case of the dowsing rods or the pendulum, it shifts the energy coming down to the tool and helps to connect with you. So you don't need to do anything special to it. You, by your sovereign authority, can ask for that. And you can even tell the tool what signals that you expect it to deliver to you. So, like my pendulum always goes back and forth for yes, and it goes sideways for no. And if it spins in a circle, that would be maybe. So when I first learned to dowse, I did ask it to show me yes, no, and maybe because that's how I was taught. But what I have learned since then, I can pick up anything and use it as a pendulum that's suitable for the task, or any pendulum, and it will function exactly the way as this one that I programmed. So out of that, I learned I don't have to program them because what happens is it's my expectation energetically that this is how the pendulum will perform, or dowsing rods or whatever. So I just pick it up and use it, and it works for me. Now, that could be different for somebody else. This is my truth. It's what I have learned. So if that doesn't work for you, if you find eh, something's not right, then experiment. Try different things to see what works for you. And there are some people who will use those dowsing charts where they will, run the pendulum over it and it will speak to them in letters or symbols or whatever. And you can do all of those things, whatever you feel led to do. And I would encourage you to be playful with it. Be curious, experiment, see what feels good to you, and you will learn things from that. I'm learning things all the time. They're constantly teaching me new things. A couple of weeks ago, I was at the grocery store and I couldn't remember whether or not I needed to get celery. And I didn't want to get more because, it goes bad if you don't use it timely. So I doused on it. And I didn't have anything with me except my fingers. So, I did this dowsing and I got a yes on celery. So I bought it. And then it was like, okay, do I need half and half? No. So I didn't buy it. And when I got home, those answers were true. So that was pretty cool. And I encourage you to do that kind of thing that's not about anything terribly serious or life shattering, just to play with and experiment to build your confidence and your skills with dowsing, because it's an amazing tool to help you with so much information. So the more you practice, the more confidence you will get. Now, there will be times when it will just give you totally flat out wrong answers and they're wrong. It's like, what? You're lying in my face? But what happens many times, if you're asking a question about something that you're really emotionally involved with, you're probably not going to get the right answer. So in that case, I encourage you to call a friend who douses and ask them to douse it for you so that you can get the right answer. Now, we do that in my mastermind group all the time. We douse for one another. You can do it in the Metatron's 21-day meditation challenge Facebook group if you want somebody to douse for you, because there are lots of people in there who douse. So these are all tools that are available to you, and I encourage you to use them. But for yourself, practice. Ask questions about things that you'll be able to get an answer to pretty quickly so that you can validate whether or not you were right. And if you're just starting out, you're probably going to get mostly wrong answers because you got to build the confidence. But once you start doing that, then you will find you slowly get more answers right than wrong until the day comes when you get almost everything right. It takes practice and time and a lot of patience, but you can do it. And it's worth the effort. Hey, Tammy, welcome. Regina, sure, go ahead and type your comment there. What about tarot cards? Well, let's ask that question, Denise. So, would it be an optimal choice to put tarot cards under the pillow to form an energetic connection with them? Yes. For tarot cards, apparently the rules are different. So, is it necessary to put them under the pillow? Okay, so no, they will still work for you, but it will take you longer to develop that connection that you will have based upon putting them under your pillow. So I don't know why it's different for cards and rods, although, yeah, I guess I do because the tools are different and the way they're accessing information is different. So that makes sense. Linda, clouds, are they formed only by atmospheric weather conditions? Or are there energetic beings that have a hand in shaping them? What a great question. So, angels tell us, are clouds strictly formed by atmospheric conditions? No, there are other ways. And so, would one of those ways then be like ETs? Was that what you were asking? Energetic beings? And what about like humans manipulating? Can humans manipulate the clouds to form the formations? Yes. So, yeah, there are outside forces that can. And is that harmful to the planet if the clouds are manipulated like that? No. Okay. There might be some cases, they're saying, but generally, no. Just manipulating the formations isn't damaging. But if they're, of course, using that to seed things across the earth, then that's a whole different story. Tammy, I'm not sure what you mean this is facts, but if you're just acknowledging that you agree, then that's good. But if you had some other points you were trying to make, then feel free to type it out there for me. Yeah, Denise, you got it. It has to be fun because that shifts the energy. When you're coming from that playful, fun place, you will get more correct answers. It's when you're really efforting. And the angels tell us all the time, don't effort, stay in the flow. If it's hard, then maybe it's not the right thing or the right time. So you want to be conscious of that and stay in the flow as much as possible. Adela, hey, welcome. You're having health issues. Your spirit guide wants you to address the real reason why you're on the planet and your real life purpose. What is the real purpose and reason are unknown to you. Okay. I will ask. Generally, that's something that I do in a soul introduction reading because it takes going into the records and doing a deeper dive than what we're doing here in these, simple little readings. But I'll see if they give me anything for you. So for Adela, can you give her some kind of an indication or a clue about her purpose for being on the planet? You chose this, baby. You wanted to be here for this incredible time of humanity's evolution. You wanted to be a part of it because in past lives, you have been disempowered, deeply disempowered. And this was your opportunity to bust out of that old pattern and create new empowered choices and consequences for yourself in this lifetime. So they're saying if you're not doing that, then focus on doing more empowered choices. And if the consequences are what you like, great, do more of that. But if they're not, then do something else. That is your barometer for whether or not something is working. If you're getting choice or consequences that you don't like, that means you need to change your action and keep doing that until you find the ones that give you the positive consequences. Now, as far as the rest of it, overall, every soul is here because they wanted to be a part of the new earth and the evolution of humanity. Beyond that, the core is that you came here to find what feeds your soul and do it. If you haven't found it yet, then keep looking. Or come and do a soul introduction and I will go and search that out for you. I can look up your gift and tell you, based upon your gift, what you probably would align with in this lifetime. So don't give up until you find it. And just because you're a mature adult and you haven't found it, do not let that discourage you because there are many, many people who don't find it until later in life. I only discovered the Akashic Records in my 50s. I was totally unconscious before then. And it 180 my life in the most marvelous way. So I highly encourage you to continue exploring and looking for those answers. They are there for you. But at the core of it, find what feeds your soul and do that. And if you can't think of anything in this lifetime that you found that feels that way, then think back to when you were a child. What were some things that you really loved doing that lit you up and excited you? Maybe there's a clue there, and that can lead you to your answers. So I hope that helps. Hey, Linda, welcome. You're not on Facebook since the big C word. I understand, Denise. I would not be there myself, but this is where the community is, and it's really almost impossible to get the people to shift somewhere else once they've established. And sadly, Facebook is the place where most of them feel comfortable, so that's where we are. You might consider just coming in for that one group because there is so much benefit you can get from being in that group. Or you can join us in the Soul Seekers. You know, we have a live gathering every month. We just had one last Friday, and things come through for them that the wide world doesn't get. It's just for the Seekers group, like the message from Dolores Cannon that she brought to them on Friday. And, we do whatever it is that's on our mind. We talk about it, we probe, we explore, and it's just all about expanding. So we could do dowsing there as well. So that's another alternative. Miss Debbie in the flow, you used your comb this morning. It has a shower rod hook on the end and it worked beautifully. That is fabulous. Applause to you for that creativity. And that's the way it should be. And if you find yourself somewhere where you don't have a pendulum or anything, then you can use your fingers. You've seen Cash Peters do it probably, and you've seen other people. And this is applied kinesiology. So the way it works is if you ask a question, and if the answer is yes, your fingers are going to hold tight. But if it's a no, they'll very easily break open. Now, here's the key to this. It took me a long time to figure this out, so I want to share it with you. When you do this, you're not holding your fingers really hard like that. You're holding them firmly, but not a death grip. So if you get a no, it will slide through easily. And sometimes it'll feel kind of sticky, and that's probably because you are not 100% confident in your feelings about what you're doing. Just keep practicing. You can also use your fingers like this. This is also applied kinesiology, just like you would do with your shoulder. So you push down with the other finger, and if it goes down, if it's weak, it's a no. And if it stays strong and up, that's a yes. So in case you didn't know about those things, now you do. Starseed, you had situations where you forgot your shopping list and you asked them to remind you and show you the list. That's so cool. I love hearing that you're being creative and using your powers that way. It's so wonderful. Penny, you are so welcome. You've thought of doing QHHT and a follow up. Is your spiritual team helping you expand your consciousness with the breathing techniques that you've been using? I would say probably yes, but we will ask to be sure. So for Penny, team, are you helping her with these breathing techniques that she's working on? Absolutely. Got you every step of the way. They're saying, can't you feel us? We're right there, like under your elbows when you're doing it. So they are there supporting and whispering in your ear. And if you're not hearing them yet, I would encourage you to get the book, The Path to Hearing Angels and Guides, 21 Days of Meditation. That's the gift from Metatron to teach you how to channel so that you can hear your team. And then if you're able to join us in the Facebook group, because there you will get support to expand your ability faster. It's incredible how fast people learn to channel when they come into the group and they get that support. So it's a gift to yourself, and I highly encourage it for everybody. Oh, you don't have time for Facebook. Okay, got it. Yeah. You are so welcome, Denise. You are welcome, Linda. I don't know what it's for, but that's okay. You're always welcome. Hi, Arlene. Great to see you. Regina, awesome. So for Penny, you heard that she's eating poorly and way too often, stressed out about other people's concerns, and you're being told to tell her to just focus on herself. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah, that's always wise advice. Metatron has told you us repeatedly self care, self care, self care. And if you've been reading my newsletters, I got whacked really bad with that because, way too long of not taking care of my health. And now I've got this thing with my ears going on, and I discovered a couple of other things. And so now I'm having to go to the doctor and take care of a bunch of stuff, which I don't like, but I will do it because the self care is important. We need to keep ourselves as healthy and robust as we can so that we can get through this huge challenge that we're in the middle of and get to New Earth together. So it's very important. Oh, you liked the cloud question, Starseed. Once you were looking at the clouds because you love the sky, and there was a cloud in the shape of a child and it waved at you. Oh, I love that. That's so magical. That was probably your angels manipulating the clouds for your enjoyment because they do stuff like that. It's just so wonderful. Yes, always remain positive and live in the now. That is definitely advice from the angels. Adela, you are so welcome. Do I believe in astrology? Yeah, sure. I mean, there's plenty of evidence that there's something going on. I personally don't know that much about it and haven't felt an inclination to learn because honestly and truly, what I'm doing with the records is so deep, vast, that I'm never going to get through it all. So I'm staying focused there and letting other people who know astrology, who are the experts, do that. But yeah, I connect with a number of astrologers and follow their work, and it's been pretty amazing. That whole thing, and what was we talked about it last year, the astrological conjunction for America, that we were coming around again to the same pattern as during the Civil War. And I think it was both the Civil War and when the country was formed, when the Constitution was written. And so, because we were coming around to that exact same pattern again, all of those energies were still there. And so, we're experiencing what we're experiencing in America now because of that repeating pattern. And this is our opportunity to make better, more empowered, and loving choices so that we can break out of that old pattern and create new empowered ones. Penny, you've used your body as a pendulum. That's awesome. Yeah. There's also the one which you may know, body dowsing, where you hold something in front of like your navel area and you stand with your feet a little bit apart, very solid. And if you are pulled forward, that's a yes. If you're pulled backward, it's a no. And if you just kind of spin a little bit, that's a maybe or a I don't know, something like that. But that's also something that you can do. And it's really cool. I like to do that in the supermarket with fruits and vegetables because let's say you pick up a watermelon and you're holding that in front of you and you just ask, is this the juiciest, most delicious watermelon that will nourish my body and please my palate? Or whatever you want to ask. And so here you are holding this, cradling this watermelon, because some of them are pretty big, and you're moving around, and you will get people coming up asking you what the heck you're doing. So it's really a fun way to share that information with other people who might not know it. And it, get you the answer you need and get you better fruit and vegetables. Foxy Mama, you completed day 14 of the 21-day meditation. Each time you tried to be in stillness longer, but you're not hearing anything. Any feedback for you? What's missing? You're not doing correctly. Okay, great question. So, everybody is different in the way their clairs work. So, if you're expecting to hear it audibly outside of yourself, that is probably never going to happen. It's rare that that happens. When you hear it in your head, it would be clairaudience. It's almost like an echo or your own thoughts, your ego speaking to you. It will sound like that. And it can be hard to distinguish the voice of ego from divine. But the way you know is because it will be speaking to you about something that you've been asking about, something that's uplifting, encouraging. Whereas ego will often come in chastising you, putting you down, discouraging you. That's how you can tell. So if you're not sure, maybe it's kind of in the middle, go with, hey, I'm asking for help. So therefore it must be help. Accept it and run with it. You'll pretty quickly find out which one it was. Usually it is your team talking to you because you asked. You stepped forward and said, I want to communicate with you. Now, sometimes it will come as visuals. So if you're getting little pictures or splashes of color in your head, pay attention to that. It might be very, very subtle in the beginning. Often it is. I've told this story 100 times, but you may not have heard it. When I first started, in my meditation, I saw a blob of purple, and that was all I saw and nothing else. But it was a blob of purple. So that was exciting. And I Googled it, what's the symbolism of purple, and it's all about your crown chakra and connection with spirit. So whatever you see, whatever kind of symbolism, Google it, find out what is the deeper message. You have to kind of be a detective. They will give you these little pieces of information that you will put together like a puzzle, and then go to Google and find out what's the symbolism, what do these things mean, and you will get more information. Now, the other thing is the people who come in and, like you, say, I'm not getting anything. But I'll bet you while you're there, you're getting intrusive thoughts because you're trying to keep your mind quiet. Don't do that. That's almost impossible unless you've studied for a really long time. Thoughts are going to pop in and out. It's just don't dance with the ones that aren't related to what you're doing, right? Let them go, let them pass by. But if these random thoughts pop in that have nothing to do with you or anything you've been thinking about, then that would be something from your team. Take that and run with it. Ask for clarification. That's your validation that you got something. And this came from my friend Irish Granny because we had this conversation. She also just determined that she never gets anything when she meditates. And she said, oh, wait a minute. What about intrusive thoughts? And it's like, ding, ding, ding. Yeah, that's what it's like. And so it is your team communicating with you because they always do when you ask. The answer is always yes. We are here. We are talking to you. It's just a matter of working out the translation. So over time, what will happen is they will start using these familiar symbols or other things with you that you will develop a language together. So it's like if you've been on any of my Ask the Guides that we used to do, very often Judy Garland would come in singing Put on a Happy Face, or they would come in doing the Cucaracha. There are just a number of songs that kept repeating, and that was the language they established with me. So when I heard Judy singing, Put on a Happy Face, that was something for that person I was reading for who needed to lighten up in their life. They were too heavy. They were not experiencing enough joy. And similarly, if I got the green, green grass of home, that's about death. So somebody near them was probably on that path. And this was kind of like an early alert warning that that was coming. So those are just some of the ways they develop a language with you. So I encourage you, don't give up, keep going. If you think you're getting something, run with it and post it in the group. Ask the question, hey, I'm getting this weird thing. What do you think? Could that be my angels talking? You can share what you got. They will help you to interpret it. There's so much support there for you that it's just incredible. And the other piece I want to share with you, everybody can daydream. We were made to do that. Our imagination. You need to let your imagination go. It will feel like a daydream when you're getting stuff from your team. That's how it works. So relax and allow that. If you've been blocking it saying, oh, I'm making this up, you're blocking it. They're sending you all kinds of messages, and you're like, talk to the hands because the face don't care. Years ago, I did a reading for a guy, and I started seeing all these symbols from Jungle Book. I'm seeing the kid, I'm seeing the snake in the tree, and the big gorilla. And I was like at a loss. What is this about? And later on in the reading, I can't remember what it was now, but we got the answer. We put the dots together and we figured out what that meant. And also for this person, when I stepped into his Akashic Records, I stepped into cold, dank seawater. And that had never happened before. I didn't know how to interpret that. And he claimed not to have a clue. A year later, that man was living on a houseboat. So you see, we get these clues. We may not interpret them right away. It may take a while before we put the dots together and interpret them. But write it down, and the answer will come eventually. Either we will help you here in the group, or you will get it yourself. But do not give up. Keep going. That's the important thing. Okay, so let me know if that helped you, Foxy Mama. Hey, Karen, did you totally misunderstand your guides and their message about coming abundance in your life? Okay, so can you tell us, did Karen misinterpret the coming abundance? Absolutely not. But the thing is, you get nervous and you don't see it when you expected it or looking the way you expected it. and you reject it. Or you go into thinking about lack. It hasn't arrived yet. It's not going to come. Those stories that we weave in our heads. Don't do that. You keep staying in that place of being grateful for whatever you see in your life, whatever blessings. Doing that shifts your energy into receiving and allowing, and then that abundance can come in. Just keep in mind, when they answer you, it might come looking different than you expected because they always bring you this or something better, and you want the something better. So allow for that, accept it, be grateful for it, and keep going. It will be there. Sometimes it just takes longer. When I was trying to manifest the place where I live now, I was living in Brooklyn. I hated it. I am not a city person. I was so stifled there. I had to get out to the country. And 4 years it took me of looking at properties, driving from Brooklyn out to the Poconos, looking at properties. But we found it, and we found a place even more perfect than we could have imagined because this place has fairy rings on it. It's got magical energy. It is just the most perfect place for me to be to do my work. And I wasn't even asking for that. It's way more land than I was asking for. But it's perfect because it has natural resources and it's high up. It's just everything perfect for us. So just know sometimes it takes longer because there are other people or events involved, and they've got to coordinate all that stuff out there to bring your manifestation. So, and don't just stick with one. You can have others, right? You can have abundance coming to you every day. Can be those parking spaces. It can be, getting in some place where you didn't think you'd get in. All kinds of things. Let your imagination soar. But you are getting abundance and manifestations every day. The trick is noticing them and being in a state of gratitude, which shifts your energy to bringing more. I hope that makes sense. Starseed, you use your body as a pendulum too. That is awesome. You tried automatic writing for the first time and you got a message from a voice that said they're your new team and they're galactic from a few different planets. Was it trustworthy? Okay, let's ask for starseed wisdom. The galactic voice who came in, was that true? Hmm. Okay, they're not giving me a clear answer yet. Give me a second to probe it. So the voice that came in, is it a true and honest voice that she can trust? Yes, you can trust the voice. Okay. So her team are from other planets. Is that true? Yes. And some of them are your starseed family. So that's part of it. Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else about that she needs to know? Just relax and allow the conversation to unfold. They have come to help you in your up leveling, and they have a whole bunch of stuff they want to share with you. So it's like massive downloads. Get ready. It's coming. Get ready to record it too, because you don't want to forget whatever it is they're sharing with you. That's really exciting. I'm happy for you. Regina, you do body pendulum when you buy fish and other proteins. That is awesome. I've been thinking because the safeguards are being destroyed here in the US, we might be smart to douse everything because the meats, who knows if you can trust if they're real meat or if they came from somewhere else and, they're toxins, and the veggies, because how many times have we heard about listeria in the lettuce? And, we might just be wise to douse everything, and it's good practice. So why not do it? But it's definitely a great practice to have. Regina, you have all the clairs. You love the magic. That is wonderful. And I think everybody has the ability to have all the clairs. You will start out with something that you're stronger in, but the more you use it and practice, the more it will expand. When I started, I had visual very strongly, but I didn't really have the clairaudience and not a lot of the I think it's sentience when you feel it in your body. But now I will get the taste, I'll get the smell, I will feel it in my body. I hear it. It's all turned on because I've practiced so much. So do that, lots of practice, and your clairs will open up. It's just more ways to communicate with your team. When you see purple, you know it's Michael, and emerald is Raphael, orange is Metatron. That is so cool. So that starseed, that's what I was talking about earlier with the language that you develop with your team. So they just give you that clue and you instantly know what it is, which is almost like shorthand when you think about it. So you're getting that clue and then you know that's what this means and you move on to the next thing. Yeah. Keep going. That's wonderful. Denise, you get a hoot out of Irish Granny. Yeah, she is amazing. Her mind, she is just so sharp and inquisitive and so brilliant. That lady is brilliant. Yeah. So, do you guys like those true crime things that we do? I know the people on her channel like them, but I'm not sure if my community likes them so much. I mean, I'm not going to be posting them because we'll keep them on her channel. But, I do post the shorts for you so that you know that they're out there. But I'm curious, how many people in my community are interested in that true crime stuff. Last year for Halloween, we did Edgar Allan Poe and Jack the Ripper, which was phenomenal. Oh my gosh, what we got from that was so great. But unfortunately, because of Project 2025 and all of that stuff raining down on us, she felt for her own safety those things needed to go. There were things that she had posted that were just not safe anymore. So that one got axed very sadly. But if you got a chance to see it, it was amazing. Holly, the name of the 21-day meditation group and how do you join? Go to Facebook and search for Metatron's meditation group. That should get you there because I don't know if that's the exact title. I can't remember right now, but it's something like that and it will come up. And if you can't find it, just shoot me an email and I'll link you up. Or if you get the book, The Path to Hearing Angels and Guides, the links are all in there. And the intention was always that you read the book first and then join the group and do the group meditation. Because if you don't do the book first, you're not going to have the course that Metatron created for you to teach you how to channel fast. Because it's the fastest way I have ever seen to learn to channel. It's just incredible. And develop your confidence faster with the group. Regina, you get lots of lyrics also. Yeah, I love that. It's so wonderful. It just makes it more fun. And the more fun they bring to the party, the better it is. Everybody relaxes and then more information comes in. You are so welcome, Carol. The advice about your son was perfect. Oh, I'm so glad. I hope everything is going well there. Regina, you enjoy daydreaming and fantasizing. Awesome. Oh, okay, Legnoguado? I'm probably butchering that, but no, it wasn't Rudyard Kipling, but actually, he was a PR guy, but he ended up living on a boat, which was really cool. And, the reading was a lot of fun, even though it took us a while to put all the pieces together. And, my friend Beth, who comes on sometimes on our lives, a few years ago, two or three, I did a short reading for her on one of these lives, and I was getting this picture of her on a boat. And I thought maybe she was going to take a cruise or something. And she's like, no, no cruises. And it's like, okay, what's about you and boats? And nothing at the time. Yesterday, that girl posted, she just bought a sailboat. It's like, you can't make this stuff up. It was just further ahead for her, and she hadn't made the choice yet, but the signs were there, and the team was guiding her towards something that she dearly loves. I think probably back then she just didn't think it was possible, but hey, it's possible, and she is now the owner of a sailboat. How wonderful is that? Eric John, you've had dragonflies swoop down in front of you for 2 weeks daily. Wow. They're sending a message. Yes, let's ask them. Dragonflies are very special. They're like almost like the fairies. So, yeah, definitely pay attention. And when they do something like that consistently, that is definitely a message you want to pay attention. So, Google it to find out all the symbology of dragonfly. That will help you right away, but we will ask. So, for Eric John, what is the message that Dragonfly wants to give to him? I am hearing the 59th Street Bridge song, Feeling Groovy. Do you know that song by Simon and Garfunkel? That is about you lightening up and flowing more, being light and confident like the dragonfly, getting out and moving around more. Maybe you've been, too compacted for, I don't know why compacted is coming up, but too compact is what I'm hearing for a while. And it's about you moving out more freely and engaging with more people in joy. And it feels like you're maybe a little introverted and that's not your comfort zone. But you know what? Just go out, meet a few people here and there, baby steps, because you can shift your introvert energy and connect with people, but then, pull back and take care of yourself. And you will find that when you do that, there is more joy and satisfaction for you because the truth is, we are all here learning our lessons, becoming better at being ourselves, and then sharing what we have learned with other people. So if we're not interacting and sharing with other people, we are not fully doing what feeds our soul. Because I get it, I'm an introvert too. And here I am doing this stuff loud and proud, right? Wasn't easy. I really had to work myself up to it little by little until I got comfortable with it. And then I realized, oh, yeah, I'm researching all these things, I'm learning all this stuff, and then I have a desire to share it. So if I'm not out connecting with people, I'm not sharing it, and I am limiting myself in this life journey. And none of us came here to be limited. We are unlimited souls. We want to go for the gusto. So for you, get out there with more people, enjoy yourself, baby step your way until you feel comfortable. Spread your wings and fly like the dragonfly, and that will feed your soul in wonderful, marvelous ways. Oh, Penny, type 1, you can't gain weight. Wow. Yeah, I'm sorry, but you will be working on that, steadily finding your answers. Are you aware of what the trauma was? Were you conscious of it? Or is it something that was maybe deeper and you haven't quite processed yet? That would be good to know. Hey, Rossi, welcome. Been a while. Yes, Regina, be open with no expectations. Just go with the flow. Allow the beautiful stuff to come in. Amanda, you're preparing to begin a Taoist meditation practice. Does Metatron have guidance for you as you approach the path? Is there a connection between this and the magnetite? Interesting. Wow. Let me get a drink real quick here. Okay. So, Metatron, what can you tell Amanda about the Taoist meditation that she's undertaking? Skipping, jumping up and down. Very happy that you're doing this, Amanda. It is so in alignment for you. It's a big leap, and your team is just very happy about it. Flow with it. Grab all that gusto. Enjoy it. It's going to open some doors for you that you hadn't even known you wanted to open. It's going to expand you in beautiful ways. And it feels like, those couple of choices you've been working on making for a while, it feels like there's going to be other choices that pop in there too. You're going to expand your opportunities. Anything else about that, Metatron? Yeah, come back and share it with everybody so that they can be inspired by your success and that will lift them up. That is how we can all help one another. Okay, and so what about the magnetite that you had her working with? Is that connected to this meditation practice? No, something else. So what is it connected to? Yeah, I'm seeing it like a bar across your head, and you've connected to it because you've been holding it and working with it for a while, so it's like it's now energetically connected to you, and it's causing you almost to levitate, like to rise up energetically. So it's in alignment with your ascension. It's connected to that. There's probably more. Let's see, is there any more that you want to explain about that? Yeah, it's to encourage you because there are so many. It's almost like concrete blocks have been holding you down. I hope that makes sense. That's what I'm seeing and feeling. Like concrete blocks on your feet holding you down. that your heart was wanting to soar, your soul was wanting to soar, but you were being held down by those blocks. So the magnetite was helping you to get past that, to move past it. And now this Taoist meditation is going to, I'm seeing, like, if you remember Pepe Le Pew, the cartoon where he would just levitate behind the cat and follow her scent with this blissful look on his face. So it's like it's leading you into more ease in your spiritual practice so that you can ascend faster. Hope that makes sense. Karen, you're so welcome. Denise, it comes in magical ways. I love it. It often does. Yeah. Rossi, a hint or direction on the type of unique healing modality that you will develop. Okay, so for Rossi, do you have a clue that you can share about this healing modality that he's being drawn to? Can you give us some details? It's not like anything that's available right now. It's something different. And I'm seeing there's like a beautiful vase, and it's got a lid on it. And and now I'm getting the cross picture of like the genie bottle, so the magic coming out of the bottle. So this is like a sacred vessel, this vase that I'm seeing. And the lid is holding this energy that's in there. So tell me more about that, the energy. Yeah, it's energy, so you're probably not going to. Oh, well, maybe you will. They were saying you're probably not going to see it, but then they showed it to me as kind of a pink sparkly, kind of a medium pink, well, almost like this pink, sparkly, very ethereal looking. So it's like the energy that's in that vase is laced with that ethereal, glittery pink color. It'll be very faint. So you might not see it right away, you might see it later. But that's the energy. And so, okay, what is he going to do with it then? You are going to You're going to meditate with it, and you're going to make sure that you keep it filled to overflowing. So that's the first part of it. And once you have gotten comfortable with that, and there's this fluidity that you need to develop working with that energy, it's almost like you're an artist. You're taking it out and like taffy, stretching it and molding it into something useful that you can share with other people. Now that's metaphorical. That's of course not literal, but that's effectively what you're going to do. So in your mind, probably you'll be seeing yourself, and you can visualize it as you do it, taking a handful of that energy, working with it, shaping it. And while you're doing it, you are meditating and you are asking the team to bring to you what it is you need to create for that person, because you're going to create something different for each person based upon their needs. That is really way far out there. So very exciting for you. Keep us posted on how that goes. And you'll have to decide what you want to call it because it's going to be something unique from you. Adela, does the entrance to the Akashic Records look like a kaleidoscope and symbols? Is it true only go in with your spirit guide? Okay, well, I can only share with you what I know, but I'll do that and then I'll just double back and ask them if they want to clarify. So for me, in the beginning, it looked like a big door, and the doors would change depending on who I was reading for. Now I don't see any barrier at all because I'm always connected, so I don't need a door. I'm there instantly. Um, but for you, if you see it as a kaleidoscope and symbols, then that would be your door of sorts, right? It can change over time. Know that. In the beginning, when I went in, I saw something that looked like the New York Public Library. It was vast. I don't see the library very often anymore because we've moved into other stories and different levels. But it's still there if I want to go back and see it. So it can change over time. It has this very chameleon like energy so that it will shift to meet you where you are in the moment to give you what you need to help yourself and others. And only go in with your spirit guide. So here's the thing. If that's your belief, then do that. That's not my truth. I don't need a guide to take me in because my records or your records, but I can only go into your records if you gave me permission, which you're doing by being here. So I don't need a guide to do that, but that doesn't mean I couldn't take one with me. If you've ever listened to any of Dave Johnson's meditations, he does that. He takes you through that pyramid, and you have somebody special with you who takes you on the journey that you go on. So if that's more comfortable for you, then sure. I could call Metatron to my side and we could go into the records together. But the thing is, Metatron's always encouraging me to lean into my power. So I have the power to go there. I don't need to have anybody escort me. But now let me ask just to clarify. So Adela would like to know about the Akashic Records and a guide accompanying her. Is that the optimal choice for her? No, you can go in by yourself. You don't need anybody. But if that's where you're most comfortable, then you do that. It's like training wheels on a bicycle, right? You use the training wheels until you don't need them anymore when your confidence is stronger. And what about the kaleidoscope and the symbols? What is that about for Adela? What is the kaleidoscope and symbols? Those symbols have meaning, and over time, if you haven't already learned what that is, you will. It's just another way of communicating. And the kaleidoscope, that's to capture your imagination with all the beautiful shapes and colors and the sacred geometry. That's all a part of it. So it's about exciting and enticing you because they want you to spend more time there. The more time you spend, the faster you will ascend, if that makes sense. So, yeah. I mean, you can't let it take over your regular life. You still got to deal with that. But more time spent there is a really good thing. Arlene, a message from Metatron. Okay. Let's see. What would you like to share with Arlene? Oh, I'm hearing Julie Andrews sing my favorite things. I don't know if you like that song or not, but it's about indulgence and life abundance and joy, right? Allowing it to come to you, to be grateful for it, to revel in it. So it feels like maybe you haven't been doing enough of that. Celebrating your magnificent self, what you have created and what you will create. So it's a big invitation to step into that joy and that feeling of abundance. So I hope that makes sense. Carol, late 50s and it's hard to make friends. Any advice? Okay, so for Carol, what wisdom can you share with her about making friends? You're too much in your head, Carol. You don't have to be anything other than yourself to make friends because if that's required, you don't want to make friends with those people. So it's finding people you have something in common with. And they're showing me outdoor activities. I don't know if you're an outdoor person, but there are meetup groups you could join, meet people there. Finding people you have something in common with is a great way to start the conversation and move on from there. Now, they're also saying you interact with people online, right? So, people that you do that with that you feel an affinity for, you might invite them to a virtual call, whether it's on, just audio or it's visual, as a way to get better acquainted. People love to get to know you, and especially if they share things in common with you. And the spiritual journey is a big one. Now, you can do that in the Facebook group if you're in there. There are lots of people in there who are wonderful, who would love to welcome you into the circle. And you know what? I'm going to send you to my friend Elena's Light Pillars group because she needs more people in that group right now helping out. That would be a beautiful place for you to make some wonderful spiritual friends. So you can find her on YouTube. I think it's Spirit Whisperer, Dr. Elena Skyhawk. Um, I don't think she's here tonight. But if you can't find her, just send me an email and I'll connect you. Or you can find her on Facebook. Just let her know that you're interested in joining the group. They meet twice a month. They come together to pray and support Gaia and also to put in light pillars to anchor in the earth where there are places that have bad energy and they need things to be fixed. So she is a general in Archangel Michael's army, and this is part of what he has asked her to do. So she's been doing this kind of thing for years by herself, and only recently has she opened it up, asking other people to join her because the message came through that we need to expand, get more people doing that. So that would be a wonderful way for you to connect. So, is there anything else you want to share with Carol about making friends? They're saying that's enough. Start there. Don't overwhelm yourself. Baby steps, a little at a time. Stop thinking about what they're thinking about you. Because I assure you, whatever you think they're thinking, they're not. That is a trap ego ensnares us with, and it can paralyze you, it can derail you, it can ruin your life. Let it go. Or think something positive that you think they're thinking about you. And that can be just as true. It will change your life. You become the boss of your thoughts. Stop entertaining all that negative ego talk. It doesn't serve you, it holds you back. So shift those thoughts to something positive whenever they go dark. That will help you a lot. And come back and let us know how you're doing. Hey, Interplanet Janet, great to see you. Flora, you like the true crime? Awesome. Janet, you're lurking and you follow both channels. You like the true crime and the collabs. Yeah. They're fun. We have a lot of fun with it. And the whole Gable Lombard thing we did recently, that was a lot of fun. And the Maryland, that was just, it's amazing to connect with their energies and to bring forward from them maybe things they never expressed while they were on Earth because, they're different when they're on the soul side. So, yeah, I'm so glad you're enjoying it. Regina, you followed a little of the Amy B story and you enjoyed the messages. I'm so glad. Yeah, that's a sad one, really. You are welcome, Holly. Linda, some of the true crime, not a steady diet. You enjoy the historical figures. Yeah. We did, for Psychathon, we did some of the founding fathers, and those were just amazing messages that we got from them. And you'll find some of that on the Psychathon recording. We were actually talking about that in the beginning if you came late, because today it's a year from when we did that 24-hour Psychathon, which was a fundraiser for the Harris campaign. And I was on all 24 hours. A couple of other people were on with me the whole time. And then we had, I think it was 20 different readers who came on, and they would do 2 or a little more hour blocks of time. So we kept changing it up, and we had amazing music that was we were given permission to play during that time. And it was just a lovely way of bringing so many in the community together before the scary elections, trying to do what we could do to influence it because, the shadow of 2025 was Project 2025 was hanging over us. So we did our level best. And I know we did make a difference, not in the way we expected, but it did matter. We did make changes and we continue to. Legnaguado. It seems you're hearing from your guides less. Any way to tune in more closely? Yeah, invite them into conversations. Metatron has advised us multiple times to make it a point 2 or 3 times a day to pause. Do a couple of minutes of deep breathing and just say, "Hey, team, I'm here. Got anything you want to share with me?" And even if they just give you a big hug, that is something. So, regularly connecting like that, that's helping to build the muscle so that you will have more ease of connecting when you want to. But they're always talking to you, you're just not hearing them. So, it's a matter of you putting in the time, the effort, and the practice to open that channel. And again, going back to get the book, The Path to Hearing Angels and Guides, it will help you get there faster. And if you join in the Facebook group, that will also accelerate the process because everybody can and does channel. Channeling is just having that dialogue with your angels and guides and even God, Creator. That's all available to us. Always was. We're just becoming more aware of it and doing it now. So the sooner you do that, the better. Give yourself that gift. Arlene, you like the true crime? Okay, thank you. Denise, it lowers your vibration. Yeah, I understand. Sometimes I've wondered about that when we do some of the darker ones, but I haven't felt anything from the team saying don't do it yet. And part of the reason Helen brings it is because, like the case of Amy B, there's a family out there who's still looking for her. They don't know if she's a captive somewhere or if she's crossed over. And that haunts them. So Helen is doing this from the energy and the intention of getting them some answers that, should they find them on her channel, would be helpful to them. It's just putting it out there to help in whatever way. So it's all with good intention. Except that Jack the Ripper and Edgar Allan Poe, that was curiosity, but it was really deep and it was really fun, and we learned things about why they were who they were that we never would have known. So it was worth the exploration. But you probably would have felt that was dark too. So yeah, you take care of you first and only do the things that lift you up and feel good. Starseed, they told you about something bad that's going to happen in the world, which is scary, and you know about the colors associated with the archangels because of Doreen Virtue. Okay. Well, I want to tell you one thing though. She gave you that information. That was her truth. But if you start seeing colors that are different, that may be a larger conversation they're trying to have with you. Because one, she could have been wrong. Two, there could be more than one. So I just encourage you, when you get stuff like that, take it all with a grain of salt. If it ends up being true for you, great. But it may change over time. It may morph. It may expand. More people could come in, more from the other side. So yeah, just be curious, allow it to expand. Because when Terry Renner was on what was it, Love Stream with us, she talked about how when she sees Metatron, he's 300 feet tall. And wow, I've never seen Metatron 300 feet tall, but that's how he shows himself to her because that's meaningful to her. When he first showed himself to me, he came in looking like Optimus Prime. He was a transformer. And wink wink, yeah, he's a transformer. So that was a joke he was kind of bringing with him. But since then he's shown himself in many different guises. So it changes over time. And sometimes it fits the situation. So it's all purposeful. None of it's frivolous. Although he is a jokester, he likes to have a good time. But your experience of Metatron could be very different. And that's the beautiful thing. They interact with us individually. They meet us who we are and where we are. And just imagine how amazing that is that they're able to do that for us because it opens so many doors and it makes it easier to connect with them. Oh, thank you, Miss Debbie. Put the title of the Facebook group in there, Metatron's 21-Day Meditation Challenge. There you go. I think I answered that, Legnaguado, that you're not hearing as much because you're probably preoccupied and you're not taking the time to listen. So it's that. Or it could be that you are taking the time to listen and you're not thinking you're hearing anything because it's those random thoughts and you're dismissing them. Or it could also be synchronicities. They often talk to us in synchronicities. And if you're not present in the moment to notice those things and recognize them as God winks or angel breadcrumbs, you'll miss them and you'll think, they're not talking to me. But that's never true. They're always talking to you. So it's just a matter of looking for those things. Out of the ordinary, something that catches your eye, or just for a moment, it's like, oh, just a second. Something caught your attention. You can feel that if you're awake and listening and looking for it. And then whatever that was, go look it up, find out what the definition of it is, the symbolism, open the door to a conversation. You can just start talking and then see what happens. You can do that too. But just know they are not being silent. You have just, for some reason, put a block there to them talking to you. So if you can, get into the group for the group support, because you will see other people have posted similar things Those are blocks they're going through. And we've all been there, done that, but it doesn't have to stay that way. You are so welcome, Denise. I'm so glad that you can be here. Virginia, you like the sailboat story? Yeah, it was pretty cool when I saw that. Interplanet Janet, you haven't joined the group, but you love the book. Okay, lurking, gotcha. Yeah, you don't have to join the group, but it will help you. So it's the fastest way I know to accelerate your ascension. So Foxy Mama, being in gratitude more popped in. You couldn't tell if it's ego or angel message. Then you pulled oracle cards and you got gratitude. Yeah, gratitude for the past. You're more powerful than you know. Absolutely. See, that's a great example, Foxy Mama, because the message was being in gratitude. That's an uplifting, angelic kind of message. Ego's not going to tell you that. That's how you know. But also, it feels different. Ego is so often holding you back, just doing its job, trying to keep you safe. But at this point, you are on this accelerated ascension journey. You don't want to be held back and kept safe. So, in the first book that I wrote, Akasha Unleashed the Missing Manual to You, I explained that, and there's a whole chapter about sitting down and having a powwow with ego, higher self, and soul to get the three of you on the same page working together rather than at cross purposes. That was so transformational for me. And it was a divine download, of course. That can make a huge difference. So I would try that. And there's a link in the book when you get you go to the page that's got the extra goodies that come with the book. There's a link there, so get the link from the book, go to that page, and there is an audio version of that meditation that you can go through, so that will help you. But that's another thing that you can work on to help get ego on board with you so that it doesn't fight against you so much. Because when I had my conversation, and ego understood that, hey, some of the stuff we were wanting to do that she was scared about doing was actually really cool and a lot of fun. And once she got on board, then she stopped putting on the brakes so often and was way more cooperative. It's a transformational experience. So you might try that as well. Hey, LC, first time commenting. You're a senior. You currently have a horrible cold, but you're enjoying the enthusiasm to try different things. That's awesome. Yeah, well, take care of that cold because self care is super, super important. And the C word is coming around again. So you want to be really careful and, do the things you need to do to strengthen your immune system. And we talk about that sometimes, although it's not feeling energetically like now is the right time. But there are, herbal, homeopathics, all kinds of things you can do to strengthen, to boost your immune system, to help give you protection against those outside forces. Yes, thank you for the dragonfly story. I'm forgetting who brought that now. Was it Rossi? I don't remember. No, I think it was somebody else. Anyway, whoever brought that, it was a great story. So thank you for contributing. Um, yes, you know the song, Rossi. Awesome. You got it. 59th Street Bridge song. Yep. So how does that song feel to you? Clearly you know it and you like it or you wouldn't know the lyrics. But does that put you in that energy of exploring your unique healing system? Because that might be why they brought that up now. They want you to feel groovy, to really get into that energy and just flow. Yeah, move with the flow like a dragonfly. Absolutely. Foxy Mama, you saw dragonflies the last 2 weeks at work and you're not near water. Oh, that is so cool. Well, yeah, they had a message for you clearly. Let's see if it's the same or different. So for Foxy Mama, were those dragonflies real? They were real. Okay. So they traveled some distance to get to her. Yeah, so it was deliberate. What's the message they wanted her to get? Well, now I got feeling groovy stuck in my head. So you can take that too. But what did the dragonflies want to say to Foxy Mama? Oh, it's relax, baby. Just flow. You see how they flap their wings really fast. but it looks effortless. It's the way that they're made to be. And they want you to know that you are efforting too much. You need to be more in the flow, allowing things to unfold, and then you flow through because your angels are lining these synchronicities up for you. So if you're out of whack with your soul, you're not going to see the synchronicities, or you might miss them, or you might take a different path. So they prepared something for you that is going to be flow and ease, but you're not getting the full benefit of it because you're focused on those things that you're worrying about. So they want you to put the worries aside. Worry does no good for anybody ever. So never worry. And focusing on things you don't want is a sure way to bring those things into reality. So swipe it away. Bring in the positive, uplifting thoughts. Stay out of doubt, fear, and worry. That's a big message for you. I feel it in my solar plexus. Yeah. So let the dragonfly model that lightness of being for you. That's what you need right now. Hey, Linda, welcome to Soul Seekers. We are so glad to have you there. So be sure you go get that Dolores Cannon message because that was phenomenal. It's on the video, and there's also a written version of it so that you can get the full impact. Regina Penny was saying that she can't gain weight because it's type 1. That's where they're skinny. So for her, it wasn't about gaining weight, but hopefully she'll take the message and come back next month and share with us what new insights she's gotten from that. Amanda, oh, you're so welcome. You think you've been guided to wait 4 to 6 months to start the meditations because of the disruptions. Oh, I felt that as soon as I read it, so probably, but we'll ask. So for Amanda, is it an optimal choice to wait 4 to 6 months before starting the Taoist practice? Yes. And they're saying yes, 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 validating that you've got that right and congratulating you for tuning in and being so prescient to get that message. So that's awesome. Yeah. And so after 6 months, it would be optimal to move forward? Yes, but it's a qualified yes. Check in again when it gets closer in case things have shifted again, because they could. There's a lot that's shifting right now. So what's true today could not be true tomorrow. We just don't know yet. Rossi, you know it's something that you have to develop, but you're not sure where to start. Well, meditation is the best place to start so that they can send you pictures and clues and help you to figure it out. And the clues that they gave you through today's message, write those down so you don't forget them. And you might just be out in a flea market somewhere and come across something that looks like what the message described and be inspired to get that, which could be one of the breadcrumbs that leads you the next step, if you know what I mean. But it's all based on energy. So it's going to be you being very present in the moment, following the breadcrumbs. They're going to bring it to you piecemeal as you build it. And you may not even know what the end result is until you're almost there. They might just, show you a piece at a time. So don't get frustrated if that's the case because it does happen that way a lot. They don't want to give you too much up front because you might end up making some wrong turns and not following the path that will get you to where you want to be. So I hope that makes sense. The cat float analogy. I've already forgotten what that was, Regina. They just come through so fast I can't remember. Yeah, those visuals are so cool because it really just it opens doors and it helps us and they use our imagination and all of those things. That's why when I first started doing this, I used to get a lot of Disney references because it's something meaningful in my vernacular so that they could open that dialogue and build a language with me. So that's how it works, a little at a time, which is really cool. Denise, is it hard to read your own Akashic records? It can be in the beginning. It was for me in the beginning. Yeah. Not so much now. I can pretty much get what I need. And sometimes they will just give me spontaneous downloads of what they want me to know. So occasionally I will just get this little, like a mini movie will just pop in. And they have done that with past lives. They'll just give me a blip of a past life. And very often it's a death scene because, that's pretty pivotal in a lifetime. So when they have done that, every time it has been about connecting the dots to somebody who's in my life now, showing how we were connected and what energy was between us in the past. But it can be all kinds of things, the downloads. So just be open to it. And I really encourage you to write it down or, audio record it or something so you don't forget it, because those pieces are building blocks and you don't want to forget them. They will fit together with other pieces in the future. You are so welcome, Adela. Oh, so you left a narcissistic relationship in November. So that's a more present trauma. Yeah. Let's just ask that question. So for Penny, leaving the narcissistic relationship, was that the trauma that triggered the diabetes? Yeah, it was deep. It's feeling like, you were a deeply rooted tree or plant, and it took a lot of pulling to get those roots to come out and set you free. So that's a deep, deep trauma. Now, the good news about this is now that you connected those dots, you can get your angels and guides to help you specifically focus on healing that as opposed to just more generic. So that's something to work on. Give that some time, meditate on it, and come back and let us know how you're doing with that, because there might be another piece we can fill in for you down the road. You are so welcome, Arlene. Jenny, you love the Favorite Things song. Yeah, that one's come up a few times. It kind of has universal appeal because, again, it's in the vernacular and we understand pretty instantly what that means. So that's what I was talking about earlier, like the shortcut with divine, because certain things have a meaning and we can instantly get it and then we can move on to more. The same request, you want a message from Metatron, whatever he wants you to hear. Okay, so guys, it's 10:30. I will go to 11, but let's stop taking new questions at this point so that I can be sure and get all the way through them and have time for follow-ups if there's a necessary follow-up in here. Because I don't see how many more are there, but I suspect there's quite a few I haven't scrolled to yet. So for Jenny, what message do you have for Jenny today? Oh my God. Little Richard singing Tutti Frutti. Now, I don't know if that song has meaning for you, Jenny, but it's that upbeat confidence. Little Richard exuded confidence. He owned that stage. He knew who he was, what he was about, what his purpose was. And I think this is connected to your healing journey right now. It's about you grabbing that fun, uplifting, confident energy of Tutti Frutti. So if you feel up to it, you might dance around the house to that song and see how that makes you feel, because that'll help to shift things for you too. Is there anything else you want to share with Jenny? Yeah, shake your tail feathers, Jenny. Come on and shake your tail feathers. There you go. So have fun with it and feel good. That's what we wish for you. Hey, Debbie, welcome back. You made it to the top of the waiting list for a senior apartment, and oh, wow, congratulations. That is wonderful. So, what is that? A couple months then, maybe? Once you're at the top, or sooner? Do you have a feel for how that's going to go? Or maybe you wanted me to ask that question. Let me know. Arlene, the message from Metatron makes you happy. You heard the song in your head and it's so sweet. That is beautiful. I love that. So glad. Oh, thank you, Debbie. You popped in Elena's link. So, Carol, that's who we were sending it to, was Carol. Or anybody else who wants to participate in the light pillars. More people, the better, because they need to get that healing energy locked into Gaia to help move us forward faster. Denise, you had a baby owl making noise in the backyard, and then it went between the trucks, was standing on the gravel, looked into your husband's and your eyes, and you thought it was maybe injured. And it says, I called W. I don't know what that means. Oh, okay. Second message. Got it. You called wildlife and asked if they could come rescue because of the cuts. Oh, you mean the cuts to wildlife? Yeah. And if it was still here doing the same, he gave you rehabilitation places for wildlife. Let me see. I don't see. Okay. That's kind of a disjointed message, so I'm not sure if you're asking me a question. Now that you've given me the backstory, if you could just post in at the bottom there, what was the question you wanted me to ask, or were you just sharing the story? Because that sounds so magical, having the owl show up. I hope you were able to get a happy resolution. Linda, you can't believe it's been a year since you met all the mediums and psychics. Yeah. It's incredible how much has happened since then that we never would have dreamed of. And, despite the fact that it looks pretty disheartening right now, I want you to know Metatron says that's not true. That is an illusion from the dark forces. They are playing a psychic game with us. They want to defeat us by making us think that it's too dire and it's not going to turn around. And that's a big, fat, ugly lie. Not true. We are making progress. We will prevail. But we've got to hang in there and keep going and to not fall for the lies. So together we will do it. And that again is why this community is so important. And I'm so grateful for everybody who shows up, because all of this energy coming together like a sonic boom is going across the planet. We are making huge ripples. We are making a difference. And the more who come, the faster we get there. So we are just going to continue on in faith and trust, knowing that the new earth, which we call Earthtopia, is on the radar and we're fast approaching it. Just got to hang in there a little longer. Yeah. I think I was at maybe almost 4,000 when we did the psychathon. And yeah, lots of people have shown up to share and help us since then. I'm so grateful for all of them, because we still need more people to reach that tipping point where we can really move things faster and get past this ugly episode in the planet. Because truly, we are aware, for those of you who don't live in America, that what we're doing here, our mess, is deeply affecting you in a negative way. And we are so sorry about that. And we are sending love and light everywhere that we can to make amends. But together we are going to turn this thing around. And you know who can't last forever. I have been getting the messages for months that he's being kept alive by artificial means. Think Weekend at Bernie's, or, something in that line. And that can't go on forever, because pretty soon that's going to fall apart. Decomposition has got to start happening. So I don't know what'll happen after that moment. Probably still a lot of mess to work with, but we can do it. We've already come so far, and we will come through. Legnaguada, you felt guided to send a message to someone last week, but then it disappeared. I'm not sure how it could disappear. Could you please ask Metatron about why? I will ask. Okay. So for Legnaguada, what happened to the message? I hope you're a he, because I'm feeling he, that he was trying to send. Where did the message go? It was no longer necessary for it to be sent, so it just evaporated. That's what they're saying. So you putting in the time, writing it or typing it or whatever it is you were doing, putting the message together, was the energy that was required. And then the angels grabbed it and took it like an ethereal arrow and sent it out to where it was needed to go and the work that was needed to be done. So it was delivered. That's where it went to. That's pretty cool. So they knew that it needed to get there sooner, and they just assisted you with it. Yeah, Irish Granny is a hoot. Stuff she comes up with. Hey, Marby, welcome. So glad to see you. Yeah, Denise, Terry is amazing. Such beautiful energy that she brings to the table. Regina says the word bod is very subjective. Always stay positive. Yeah, absolutely. For everything, we want to be kind, loving, and gentle with ourselves. Speaking only kind and lovely words to yourselves. Sometimes I used to do that a lot. I don't do that anymore. But every once in a while, I'll slip and I'll say, duh. And then I have to apologize to myself, because we don't want that energy coming in. We want to be loving and supportive to ourselves so that we can put more of that out into the world. We don't want that negative stuff in there. And it takes practice to be present, to notice when it happens, and then, hey, I'm sorry, I retract it. Take it back. Don't let it be out there, because you don't want that kind of karma, that energy going out. Even thinking about who and wishing that they would exit sooner, that defeats our purpose, you guys, because every time we focus on that individual, we empower them. Like a vampire, our thoughts are energy feeding that atrocity. So we don't want to do that. We either don't think about it at all or send positive energy, because that will boomerang back on us. It'll do for them whatever it does for them. That's none of our business. But for us, sending out most beneficent outcome wherever. You might feel something negative, send most beneficent outcome instead. That will boomerang on you, and it will do for them whatever they allow it to do for them. That is, from the spiritual side, the optimal choice. Oh, bad is very subjective. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, especially for certain people. Starseed Wisdom, you are curious and open. You sometimes see Michael as an alien looking like Bowie's character in the movie The Man Who Fell to Earth. That is so cool. Yeah, well, they will take on characters that are familiar to you. I would then take a little time to meditate on that. What aspects of that character and the actor connect to Archangel Michael? There's probably a deeper message waiting to be discovered there, because there's always multiple layers to everything they share with us. So that would be really interesting to dive into and see what you get from that. Linda, animals doing odd things, birds, insects, songs, books or phrases, license plates, repeating numbers, anything out of the ordinary that grabs your attention or repeats. Pay attention. Yes, thank you, Linda. That's it. It will just be something that, you might just be taking your gaze across the horizon, and at that spot, there was just a hesitation for a moment. That was something. So pay attention. What was that? Process it. What's the symbolism? What did it do for you? If you see a critter several times in a short period of time that you don't normally see, go look up the symbolism of that critter, because there's something there. Just like we talked about the dragonfly earlier. That is not for nothing. There is a message there. And, maybe it was the fairies using the dragonfly to bring you a message. It's all magical and wonderful. So when you look for those messages and then you process them, that's where life starts to feel like magic every day. So the more you lean into that feeling of my life is magical every day, the angels are with me holding my hands, we go flying together, we have wonderful adventures. The more you're in that energy, the faster you will ascend. Your frequency will rise and you will get to new earth sooner. So, very wise investment of time and energy in that kind of beingness. It will change your life. Just look for the magic, expect it, and it will be there. Yeah, raw honey is wonderful. I think you're talking about the person with the cold. Yeah. If they also say, though, get local, because there might be stuff in it that from honey from somewhere else that might have something you'd be allergic to. So if you get it local, it's less likely to cause a reaction. If it's indeed real pure honey, because there's manufactured stuff out there, you got to be careful. Rossi, you love that song. I'm so glad. So it's purposeful. They don't always choose it just because it has a vernacular meaning in our language. Sometimes it's just because you love it and it will have extra special meaning for you. Awesome, Elsie. I'm so glad. Regina, FM has lots of healing work to do. Is FM a person? Sorry, I did FileMaker databases for many years, and FM just took me to FileMaker, so it's like I'm blanking on what else it could be because I know that's not about FileMaker. But whoever it is, working on moving the fears, yeah, because we don't want to be in fear, worry, and oh, Foxy Mama, got it. Thank you. Um, yeah, fear, worry, and doubt. It doesn't serve you. It's a waste of time, and it takes you down dark paths that you just don't want to go. You're welcome, Amanda. Virginia, you like the breadcrumbs? Yeah, they use that a lot. Rossi, you have to be more patient and relaxed, just like the song. Follow the breadcrumbs. Yeah. So you might want to sing that song more often as you're going about your day because that'll help immediately put you back in that energy now that you've attached that spiritual message to it. So that could be a really great tool for you. And maybe that's what you're going to imbue into that energy in that vase. Feeling groovy would be a good thing for a lot of people. And maybe that's the name of your modality. Could be. Foxy Mama, you agree. You need to relax more. You're too hard on yourself. Yeah, you do see synchronicity. Oh, car plates with lots of nines. Oh, that's interesting. Have you looked up nines? Nines are like end of a cycle, finishing something. That can be very significant. So you probably want to look that up. Check the numerology on nines as well as the spiritual meaning because you might get even more out of that. Denise, it's challenging. You do definitely get the downloads. Yeah. If you're getting them, then you can get more. So the more you tune in and ask, the more you will get. So as Metatron said, 2 or 3 times a day, maybe set yourself a little alarm. Just stop. Take a few deep breaths. Hey, angels. How you doing? I'm here. You got anything for me? And it feels good just to do that. Your heart chakra starts to open up and it opens the doors for them to come in and bring more magic to your life. So if you make a practice of doing that regularly, things will expand. You'll get even bigger messages, bigger and deeper. Starseed, you get signs and messages all the time, but don't usually pay attention. Yeah, you were at the park today and a bird acted really weird and got very close, and you know it was a sign. Absolutely, because it was out of the ordinary, right? Like a week ago, I was outside trying to see meteorites because it was one of those nights they said we could see them. And when I came back in, I saw something that looked like a butterfly flying over my head. And my mind said, wait a minute, butterflies don't fly at night. I look again, it was a bat. I never see bats here, so that was unusual. So I had to go look up what's the meaning of a bat. So it's that kind of stuff. It's out of the ordinary. And you know what? Even if it wasn't a message, go look it up anyway. You're going to learn something, and it probably was a message. So just take it that it is and run with it and see what happens. Do I explain dreams, Regina? Um, I can ask the angels. The dreams are not really my forte. Actually, Dr. Elena is really good with dreams. So if you join her Light Pillars group and you have dreams you need help with, you can bring them to the group. That's another benefit of being part of that. So it's like give and take and sharing in the group, which is beautiful. But yeah, I'm willing to ask and see what I can get about dreams. It's just not my specialty. Thank you, Linda. We just got to questions closed. Okay, so let's see if there are any follow ups here that I missed. Jenny, you're going to shake your booty. I love it. I can't wait to hear how that feels for you. W, tentative move in November 1st. Well, yay, hallelujah. That's so exciting. Before the big snows come, because they're saying we're probably going to get extra snow this year because that's the energy pattern that's moving right now. So you're going to get a great indoctrination to upstate New York when you get there. I think you're probably already familiar, but yeah, there it will be. Maybe get ready to spend a lot more time being snowed in, I guess. And that can be wonderful too because you've got all these amazing projects you're working on. So that can be a boost where there's nothing going on. You don't have to do anything. You can just hunker down and work on those heart projects that change your world and that of others. Yes, I will do that. Foxy Mom is asking for a general reading for the group before we stop. Yes, absolutely. We still have 15 minutes. I've got time. And we'll do a closing prayer too. So if you have prayer requests, you can put those in there. Denise, you've got to go, but you'll listen to the replay. Gratitude and appreciation, blessings, angels on your pillows, and heaven in your hearts. I love that. That's beautiful. Thank you, Denise. The owl wasn't there in the morning, so they get dehydrated often. Interesting. Okay. Let's just ask for Denise so you'll get it on the replay. That owl. Did the owl survive? It did. It revived. Okay. So maybe the dew helped to revive it just enough. That's what it feels like. It got just enough from the dew that it was able to regain its strength. Oh, and the angels came in and swooped it up too. I see them. They're coming down. They're pink angels, very delicate, almost like elementals rather than angels, but they're identified as angels. So maybe the angels of owls look different. Could be. So they scooped it up and gave it a boost and got it going. Yeah, so it did survive. But it is grateful that you sent out the love and the positive energy for it. Thank you, Denise. That's beautiful. Awesome, Penny. Keep us posted. Yes, amen, Linda. We are making a difference just by being here. Regina, you just hugged a huge old tree. You felt the great energy connection. Thank you, tree. That's awesome. Yeah, the trees are so amazing. They are sentinels that have so much wisdom to share with us. Is that a song, Debbie, about ignite the light? It's not one I'm familiar with, so. Oh, baby, you're a firework. Gotcha. Okay, yeah, that one I know. Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's perfect. Hey, Charlie, welcome. We're almost finished, but there is the replay here that you'll be able to get. We covered a lot of ground tonight. And yes, Debbie, don't shoot on yourself. Oh my gosh. Some of us are really experts at that, but now is a new day and a new age, and we know better, so we are doing better. Starseed, Michael's advice to you was focus on yourself and not worry about things outside of yourself. Yeah, all of the angels are talking about that, and they have been for a while because we're so good at beating up on ourselves, and especially for the women, we were taught to take care of everybody else and we came last. Well, that's kind of dumb because by then we're all used up and we got nothing left to give to anybody, least of all ourselves. So we have to work on number one. We came here as a sovereign soul with a very specific purpose for this lifetime. So if we throw it away on all these other people, then we'll get to the end and have a lot of regrets that one more time we missed the boat. We'll have another chance, but it would be really great if it could be this lifetime because this is such a big consequential lifetime. So we really want to get it now. Yep, the optimal choice, Linda. Perfect. Legnaguada, you are so welcome. Starseed, you do lots of gratitude throughout the day, and it's wonderful. Yeah, isn't it? It picks you up when you focus on what you're grateful for. Linda, you had a cardinal today on the walking path. Awesome. Some people believe that cardinals are, a departed spirit loved one. I don't know if that's necessarily true for all of them, but hopefully it brought you a great message. Denise, you're listening to the power of now and doing box breathing. That is wonderful. With all the stress in the world, the more breathing work we do, the better. Because it's so important that we stay in that centered, relaxed place, which means we'll be less likely to be triggered, to lean into the negative emotions. And if you've never heard this before, I want you to hear it now. If something triggers you, that is an opportunity on a spiritual level to dig into why it triggers you and to heal it. It's an opportunity. Once you heal it, you won't be triggered anymore. That's why it's there. So take advantage of that. Don't keep getting triggered, because then other people have control over you and you don't. It's about embracing your empowerment now. Local honey for a cold. You'll see what you can find. Awesome. Awesome. Regina, dream of flying while laying down, holding a sparkling torch guiding you in your right hand. You were laying a pole and where so it sounds like you were like in a Superman costume or something, right? Laying a pole wearing a blue robe. So for Regina, flying with a sparkling torch, a pole, and a blue robe. So, can you give us a clue? What was that about? You've got the tools, you've got the power to do what you want to do, and flying is about setting you free to use those tools and those powers in whatever way you feel drawn to use them. And you've probably been feeling the pull, something in the throat chakra, Regina, and I'm thinking that's aimed at you. So speaking as well, and you've got it there. Maybe you've been a little hesitant to step out and do it, but they're encouraging you to, and they're saying it will be far easier than you expect it will because you have the tools. You've been working on it and you're ready. So now is the time, whatever way you feel led, to get out there. Use your voice on behalf of others wherever you feel inspired, and especially on behalf of yourself, embracing your power. Don't let anybody take that away from you. Yeah. So I hope that makes sense. You grew up in Rochester, Debbie, but has a great interior to experience if you get bored of your okay. So the apartment is like a complex where you can walk around inside. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, my husband went to school at Buffalo and they had to do that. There were times it was so bad they could only, use the common area for the people inside. Denise, you're asking me where I'm from. I grew up in a little town called Eden, Ohio. Edon. And it's a tiny little place. Hardly anybody knows about it, but that's where I grew up. And sadly, it's populated by a lot of MAGA. Ohio used to be a nice place to live, but not so much anymore. Regina, you felt great and empowered. Oh, that is so awesome. That's what you were supposed to feel. Yeah. Prayer request for Carol's mom. Okay. And healing for Elsie, Denise, and her husband. Denise, you have an owl buried in the front yard that got off the middle. You got it off the middle of the road, and they gift you with feathers. Oh, that is so beautiful. Hi, Ultra Deep Blue. Welcome. We're just about to wrap, so sorry that you got here so late, but we do have, the entirety before this that you can rewind. Prayers for anybody here who asks. Yes, absolutely. Peace and acceptance for all. Ultra Deep, you learn from your guides that you're working on the design of a new Earth experience. I love that. Oh, please, baby, do that. Denise, you have a magic book that you put what you're grateful for, and also a bitch book to let it out and release it. That's awesome. Just don't spend too much time in the bitch book. Let that go. Focus on the good stuff. Let's talk about it, Ultra Deep. I have paused my podcast for now, but I am planning to revive it. I've just been so overwhelmed with all the things that they have asked me to do. So as soon as I get caught up and catch my breath, I'll go back to the podcasts again, because I really enjoy having those deep conversations at the soul level with people and sharing them with the community. Prayers for the truth to come to light, peace to all nations, especially those at war. Prayers and healing for the innocents being harmed. Starseed, Michael says to you, in the present moment, all is well. Oh, I love that. That's beautiful. And that is so true. Everybody can use that. Thank you, Regina. So great you could be here. Thank you, Debbie. Great rest of the year, day, and week. Awesome. Okay, so you guys, I think that's everything. And let's just bring the energy down and we'll do a little prayer. So I'm going to ask the angels to take all of those prayers that I just spoke, reading your messages, and incorporate them into this prayer so that I don't have to read them while I'm praying. And prayers for your grandson, Aaron, to find a job and heal from depression. For Arlene, you are so welcome, Starseed, even though it's past your bedtime. Ask the angels to bring you extra restorative sleep tonight to make up for it. That's only fair, right? Absolutely. Okay, so thank you to all of the individuals who showed up here tonight and brought their beautiful, loving, bright lights, the divine love light that they carry deep in their hearts to share with the world. And we ask the angels to take all of that power and that intention and to send it out in a massive sonic boom across the planet so that it touches and is felt by every living being on this planet, shifting the energy into the most beneficent outcome for all and to positives, to love that boomerangs back and blesses everyone. Thank you to each individual team who accompanied your person tonight. We felt your energy and we are so grateful for it because it does make a massive difference. Thank you, Metatron, for leading this whole wild ride for us, for inspiring us, sharing all of that love, inspiration, helping us to walk our purposeful path as we came here to do. Thank you for what you've already done and what you will do and you are doing. We are so grateful. And we want to thank Creator for all of that love that pours down upon us consistently, all of the time, filling us up, filling our souls, even our egos, our bodies, our minds, so that we are filled to the brim and not those needy beings that we used to be, that we are confident, we are empowered, and we can live fully as an embodied soul, fulfilling the purpose for which we came in this very consequential lifetime. And again, we ask that you would bring love, light, and healing to all those who were impacted by the climate events and all those who are being harmed by the dark forces who are wreaking havoc upon the planet right now, including upon Gaia. Please put a blanket of love over that. Put out their light. Push them back into the dark corners from which they came so they no longer interfere with us. Please and thank you. Anything else? Anything else you want to add? Go forth with love and light, caressing your entire being. Know that that is felt as you simply walk in your daily life. That energy surrounds you. It touches others. It hits their energy body. They feel it, and they are blessed and uplifted by it. So know, just by being out there, walking around, you're making a difference. And imagine what you can do when you step into the more purposeful work that you came here for. So we encourage all of you to lean into that, lean into your angels, and lean into your spiritual community. We are here for you. We love you very much. We can't wait to help you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Awesome. So, Marby, you are so welcome. Thy will be done. Yes, thank you, Arlene. Yes, thank you for all the thumbs up. Ultra Deep, I am who I am. We are who we are, and we are magnificent. Amen. Yes, we are. Thank you. Okay, I think that is. Oh, and so it is. Ironweed, you're new here. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you. Amen. Warmth and gratitude. Okay, got it. Thank you, Linda. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here. I will be in touch with you soon. If you're not on my mailing list, get on it because I share things with in my weekly update. I only write on Sundays, but I share personal things with you so that we can get to know one another at a deeper level because we are doing such consequential work. And that's important that we are authentic and honest with one another. So join us there, and then you'll know about all the things that are coming up before everybody else in the world does because you get first dibs. That and the Soul Seekers. The Soul Seekers also, and they get the special stuff because they signed up for it, and we spend that quality time together. And I know that's going to expand as we move forward and we find different ways to make that group serve ourselves and the world at large. So thank you all. Much love to you today, tomorrow, and for always. Mwah. Bye, everybody.